Welcome to Wanna Bet, the daily gambling game show that takes betting seriously, but not much else. Get our favorite plays on the totals, sides, props, exotics, and futures to jump on now. So let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Så till kursen kere konsolata konsolferino. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Happy early Thanksgiving. We appreciate you. I don't know how people play the bass and sing at the same time. Like, I can't talk to start this show and keep thinking about what I have to tweet out to let people know that we're live. I can't even do that at the same time. Like, could you imagine, like, Geddy Lee from Rush playing the bass with foot pedals, also playing the keyboard at the same time, and then singing like 10 different octaves? I stay hot with
I'm
us.
a huge fan of Geddy Lee from Rush. Geddy Lee. I'm been a diehard Geddy Lee fan my whole life.
Well, you should be.
No, I am. I'm being dead serious. Geddy
Lee.
Lee. I listen to Geddy Lee. Geddy Lee.
You know who Geddy Lee is?
Fuck, or frick no. Sorry.
That's you and Mateo.
Me and Mateo.
In the same day. All the kids. You had me going for a minute. I was down here getting ready, rocking out, playing some of my old man music. Doctor by UFO should be like, anytime you're setting up or doing anything, you should just play Doctor from UFO and it'll get you fired up. There's a reason Iron Maiden come out to that song. Literally, it's like the perfect preparing doing. I'm turning the lights on. I'm finding the lobsters. Lauren put the lobsters in the washer and the dryer. Ben, they smell delicious. They smell almost as good as they taste. There is no bone marrow in lobsters. We found that out from Ryan Mills today.
Yes.
I guess I kind of probably already knew that. Anyway, look, we're here to give you bets across all the sports that we play. It's late on a Thanksgiving Eve. Ben, you'll probably be staying up to watch that Maryland game. There ain't no way I'm going to make it through that thing. Are you watching Maryland, Alabama tonight after staying up till 3 a.m. last night?
Dude, I get sick. If I get 6 hours of sleep, it's an incredible day. I'll say that.
Yeah, that's about what I get to. But yeah. So anyway, that'll be fun. Look, Ben's got a lot going on. I got a lot going on. We don't have a bet slip now. Well, the bet slip will be back on.
Nobody's
Friday
hiding it.
Show.
And if you have a problem with
I'm under. I'll tell you everything that happened in the Champions League. I skull effed the Bayern Munich match. I should have just did what I was originally going to do. Bayern, money line, and Kane. I played it 3 different ways. They all missed. But we broke even in the Champions League because the parlay hit for plus 200. PSG, Copenhagen to win. Over 2.5 in Atalanta and Eintracht Frankfurt. PSG -1 hit. Houston Christian, we love those crazy Cougars. If I had a Bible right here, I'd thump it.
Well on their way
to
the
money line easy.
Well on their way to the Mount Rushmore.
Well, we got to be careful. I feel like we throw that around way too much.
What were they down the first game?
Oh, they were down big in the first game.
I don't think. I think the ride to Mount Rushmore should be thrown around more. I mean, you have a lot of different cats riding to try to make the Wanna Bet Mount
Well,
Rushmore.
here's the problem, Beltway Ben. It hasn't brought out the best in a lot of them. It didn't bring out the best in Woody Marks. It definitely didn't bring out the best in Bayern Munich.
How many
and
Quinny
Harry
P
Kane
bets
today.
did he cash with him?
Well, that's exactly my point. Quinny P and Freddie P got their own song, and they deserve that. They're in a special place.
Woody Marks is.
They're in a special place.
No.
We can't be comparing people to this beautiful bastard.
It's just on pace. It's just a conversation. I think it's good to see how real some of these athletes are. Do you really think you're a great athlete? Okay, well, are you in the Wanna Bet Mount Rushmore conversation? That's how I view it.
Oh, I guess there's 2 ways to look at it. So the Maryland game is still pending. I lost the under in the Towson game. Towson gave up 50 points in the first half. UC San Diego had like 10 threes in the first half. Doesn't usually happen. So I'm like 3 units down. Ben's like 45 units up. Anything of note for you earlier today?
St. John's killed our college basketball parlay. Şengün doesn't look good in the first half, but it's still the first half. NBA games are crazy. And the over in the Baylor San Diego State game, it's a little underpaced, but it's hard to really tell where we're at. So a lot of question marks so far.
There you go. So there's your update. Do we have anything else to get to before we get to the bets? I feel like I'm missing something, but maybe not.
Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving.
You'll be watching this all day.
Yeah, just keep rewatching. It gets better each time. There's subliminal stuff we put in here and little sleight of hand that you don't see the first time. It's like I'm like freaking not Jackie Chan. Who was the original guy? Bruce Lee.
Bruce Lee. Yeah.
The shit's so fast, you gotta watch it. You gotta watch it double, then you see the moves.
Right. You can also turn the video into 0.5 times speed if you want to slow it down to fully get what we're saying.
Yep. Yes.
Or you can speed it up if you're in a rush.
Yeah. Whatever you need, we got you covered. All right, let's go then. First down for me, Beltway, Ben. This is Jamar Chase, right?
Jahmyr Gibbs.
Jahmyr Gibbs. All right, so here's a story with Jahmyr Gibbs. I jumped this a couple days ago, 30 or more receiving yards at plus 102. And I thought about giving it out then, but I'm like, I don't know. I thought there's other stuff that would move. Well, shame on me. That's long gone. His total went from about 29.5 in the standard betting markets up to, last I checked, 33.5. And the 30 receiving yards at most places was like minus 150. So I'm comfortable taking it to 40 here at plus 135. He has at least 4 receptions in 4 of his last five games against Green Bay. If you recall, he caught 10 balls against them week 1. Now, somehow it only went for 31 yards. I don't see that happening again. He is the main thing. This is kind of a must-win game for Detroit. He's their best winning football player right now. The quarterback's slumping a little bit. He's got 30 or more receiving yards in 5 of the last 7. I know we're up to 40 now. But look, you look at Green Bay and how people are attacking them. The kid Tracy with the Giants had 2 catches of 20 yards or more, the running back. Saquon took a screen pass for 41 yards against them. Green Bay to running backs last 6 games are allowing 31 yards per game on average, and Gibbs is no average back. Beltway, Ben, in the first game, the Lions could not run the ball on them at all. And I'm not sure they're going to be able to do it so well here. So I think it could be 10 more screen passes for Gibbs. And if he catches 10 more passes, he's definitely going over 40 yards this time. It's a short week. Green Bay's a little tired. I'm sure he's a little tired. But for a guy of this caliber, maybe the best athlete on the field, who could be getting upwards of 10 targets, for a Detroit defense that's all of a sudden struggling, even with the new play caller, head coach Dan Campbell, there's not that many ways to attack this Green Bay defense and find a lot of joy. And hey, this might not work either, because 10 catches for 31 yards week 1. But we're going back to that well. And we'll play at 40 plus, Spotify's and Apple Bottoms, plus 135.
We're going to go to, I don't remember exactly the play that you gave out, but it had Rashee Rice involved.
70 plus receiving yards and chefs on the money line.
Yeah. Right there with you. I was kind of looking through games a lot the past 2 days and through earlier this morning. And he was a guy that I just consistently found myself going back to given the matchup. So I like Rashee Rice over 74.5 receiving yards at minus 110. And we're also going to play Rashee Rice over 7.5 receptions at minus 122. Since coming back, it's been a point of emphasis to get Rashee Rice the football, and that was from the very first game, right? You look at the targets, 10 in his first week back, 9 the following, 7, 9, and then 12 last week. It's clear what they want to do. Now, they've had a lot of wide receivers banged up. They've had a lot of kind of journeymen in the NFL between Juju Smith, Hollywood Brown, all those guys. Rashee Rice is their wide receiver 1, and they fully believe that. Now, his A-dot is very low, right? It's a lot of quick hitters to him. Short throws and letting him pick up a lot of yak and see if he can do that. Dallas plays more zone coverage than almost anybody else in the NFL, the second most in the NFL, and that's where Rashee Rice has really eaten this year. He leads the Chiefs in target share against zone coverage. Dallas is solid against the run. I've talked about that. The trade for Quinnen Williams, to me, seems like a massive difference maker there. Now, against the pass, I still think that team can get fried. It's a good field, good environment, the weather conditions. We know they're playing indoors. That should not hold Mahomes back at all. If they want to do the screens to Rice, we'll get the receptions, but he also can break a lot of tackles. And when you look at Dallas, the way they tackle, it's not well. Their secondary gets cooked a lot, and we've seen it all season long. No real improvements there. And then, of course, like, he's getting stronger by the week. And he's cleared both of these in 3 of 5 games since returning. So even at, 85 to 90%, he's been going over this, but now he's in week 6 since returning. I think he's going to be 100%. I don't know fully what the injury report's going to look like tomorrow morning. I know a lot of guys are trending in the right direction to play, but even with that, those guys on 100%. Rashee Rice has looked really good. I like him over 74.5 receiving yards at -110. And it's actually 6.5 receptions, not 7.5. I put that wrong. It's 6.5 receptions at -122.
Yeah, I was thinking 7.5. I thought would be plus money if you got to get 8. We're going to go to a receiver on second down. Jamar Chase has his way with the Ravens, whether he's lined up outside or in the slot. His standard number's around 87.5. We're going to play Jamar Chase over 100 yards here against the Baltimore Ravens tomorrow night for plus 114. His 2 games last year against the Ravens, including one in which Joe Burrow got hurt during the game, 21 receptions, 457 yards, 5 touchdowns. They tried every and any defensive back on him that they could muster. None of them could stop this guy. The Baltimore Ravens are this year, as much as people talk about the defense has improved, they're a bottom 5 team defending slot pass catchers. 110 attempts against them in the slot. That's top 10 in the NFL because people know you could feast on them there. 8.4 yards per attempt throwing to the slot against the Ravens this year. They're 27th in the NFL. They've allowed 8 passing touchdowns to slot receivers. That's bottom 5 in the NFL. Excuse me. They're also bottom 6 in the NFL in opposer passer rating when throwing to slot receivers. Jamar Chase has far and away done the most damage for the Bungles this year in the slot. He has 243 receiving yards in the slot. Nobody else has more than 122. He has 7 more receptions in the slot than anybody else. He's effectively run as many routes as Yoshivas in the slot. Higgins has run 3 more slot routes than him this year. Higgins is out with a concussion. Chase is Joey Burrow's guy. Joey Burrow's not coming back from the dead to hand the ball off a ton. He's there to throw it. Marlon Humphrey is not going to be able to handle Chase. Kyle Hamilton's playing in this game. He doesn't really man-mark anybody. He stands at the line of scrimmage. He mugs like a linebacker. He is a demon in the run game. He gets his hands up and forces people to change their arm angle and deflects balls. He's not going to be defending Jamar Chase. I don't know who's going to defend Jamar Chase. The Bengals are going to have a lot of options here and a lot of different ways to slice you. And Joe Burrow destroyed the Ravens last year, and I think he's got a shot to do damage against them this year because they have no pass rush. I like Jamar Chase to go off in this football game, and that's all I have to say about that.
I'm going to go to a college football prop. Listen, you give me one college football game on the slate, you don't think I'm going to find a play that I like? You're crazy. So we did find one. Memphis team total over 264.5 receiving yards at -110. They've cleared this in 2 of their last 4. The passing game wasn't going super strong to start the year. They played a lot of lesser opponents and were able to run the score up. Not a ton of high-scoring games where they had to outscore teams down the stretch in the fourth quarter so they could run the clock there. Brendan Lewis, veteran quarterback. He's been in college since 2020. He's probably older than me. This is a guy that has figured it out, and he's playing good football here. Was at Nevada last year, last 2 years, I believe, and he was at Colorado to start his career. Like, he's been a lot of places, and he's figured it out. He's had a lot of success here. This is an angry team, right? They were right in there for the playoff push. You lose 2 bad games, one to East Carolina, and one 2 weeks ago where you were right in the push. Now you're going to face a Navy team. There's a lot of hype. Could Navy potentially sneak into them college football playoff? Yeah, they could. Now let's look at what Navy's defense has done over the last 5 weeks. You look, Byron Brown from USF, he threw for 327 yards, and that was a game that was down to the end. If USF's defense could have just got 1 stop, they probably win that game. That screwed us on here. Notre Dame, 253 passing yards, but they also had 250 plus rushing, and they were up 53-9 in the fourth quarter. You don't have to throw the football there. North Texas, 234. FAU, 381. Temple, 345. This is going to be a back and forth game,
Yes.
similar to what we saw in the USF game. If that's the case, there's going to be a lot of passes, a ton of throwing the football. And Memphis, like, they have an iffy rushing attack. It's not anything special. Now, Lewis can run the ball as a quarterback a little bit, but he can also make plays with his arm, and we've seen it a lot. If this is going to be both teams punching back left and right, I just have to believe that Navy's passing defense struggles a little bit because they are down in the country. If you look around the country, they're one of the more struggling passing defenses. They've been better against the run, and as I said, Memphis's run game just isn't there. So I do think they're going to throw the football a lot and clear 264.5 passing yards, basically, what the prop is.
Love it. Third down for me. Let's go to that Cowboys-Chiefs game that you referenced with the Rice play. We're going to go under 52.5. And look, if you want to wait on this because you think it's still going to rise, I go for it. Do it. It might get to 53. I'm certainly monitoring it, and I may have more plays on this moving forward. But the Chiefs, to me, are a dead under team, especially on the road. And Dallas, yeah, it's a prolific offense, yada, yada, yada. I think Spags will be able to hold them relatively in check. Look, the Chiefs are 8-3 to the under this season. They've played 6 straight games in which the total went under 50 points. The Cowboys have played 3 straight games in which the total went under 50 points. Kansas City, since the start of last year, is 9-5 to the under on the road. That is tied for the highest under rate in the NFL. Those road games for the Chiefs since the start of last season averaged 42.9 points. They have gone under on average by 2.5 points per game. Kansas City run the splits on them this year. They're 2 different teams, home and road. They are a bottom 5 red zone team on the road, bottom 5 third down team on the road. They do run the ball much better on the road, over 5 yards per carry versus 4 at home. But that's fine with me. I hope they run the ball more in this game. As long as Rice gets his 70 yards in the air and the Chiefs win, I'm fine with that. I think Andy Reid's got to recalibrate some things. And you've heard him call Mahomes out publicly about running the ball more. They can run the ball. Even with Quentin Williams, I think they're going to be able to run the ball a little bit on Dallas. I don't think Dallas is going off on Steve Spagnuolo's offense. The Chiefs get no explosives on anybody, period. As Ben was saying, even Rice with all that volume, the yardage is not what you would expect. Xavier Worthy drops more balls than he catches. They don't get explosion in the run game. They don't get explosion, and it's hard to go over without explosion. Spags is not going to let Pickens and Lamb just go off here. He's going to try to take them away and force Dallas to run it through Javonte Williams. And they just might to try to keep this close. That's who Kansas City is. They're an under team on the road. They have been since the start of last year. Dallas's defense has certainly improved since the beginning of the year. They're not hemorrhaging yards and points anymore. And I think in a short week, tired teams, this might be a little bit more of a between the 20s tussle. Also, Andy Reid will lean into Butker whenever, wherever, which is fine with us. And we know that Aubrey is good from 70, which is fine. Give me 3s, not 7s.
I'm going to go with technically another slot receiver for the Bengals. We're going to go with Andre Yoshivas, and we're going to play him over 30.5 receiving yards at -110. Told you guys yesterday that I was probably going, or that was probably this morning or earlier today. Told you guys earlier today that I was probably going to give out Yoshivas, and I was sitting here up until the final minute of the show between him and Mitchell Tinsley. I just think Burrow trusts Yoshivas a little bit more, right? He spent an extra 2 years with him, and we've seen him confident throwing him the football, especially against this Ravens team, who Yoshivas has had success against in the past. Jason has documented the success that teams have when throwing to the slot, and the Ravens struggles against the slot. Yoshivas runs more than half of his routes from the slot. Like, that's where he's running 60% of his routes between him and Chase or filtering them in. And he's had a lot of success against Baltimore in the past, as I said. He's over this in 2 of his last 3. The last time he played with Joe Burrow, he had 5 targets, targeted 5 times, and that was with T. Higgins playing and Jamar Chase. Now you're telling me no T. Higgins. Jamar Chase, of course, is going to be out there running around against the Ravens, but there is other guys that are going to have to catch the football. And behind Yoshivas and Chase, it's not really much. Like, it's guys trying to figure out. I mentioned Tinsley, but is he going to command more than 3 targets? I just don't see that happening. 30 yards for Yoshivas with the way that he plays could be just 1 reception. I think we're going to see a lot of throws from Burrow in Cincinnati. This Ravens defense has played good, but this will be their first true test So we got to see where they're at. And I think still wide receivers have been able to get there. Like John Mechie, A.D. Mitchell. We were all over that. I told you guys I liked A.D. Mitchell. He got over. It was sweaty. It was only 2 receptions, but he got over. And the Ravens also, some of their corners really struggle tackling. So Andre Yoshibas over 30.5 receiving yards at -110.
Love it. You mentioned that Memphis Navy game. Let's go there. It is 4th and short for me. We're going to take the first half over. There's a lot of different ways you could play it. We settled on the over 26.5 -150. You could play 27.5 -125. You can find it priced at 28.5. But we're going to play the 26.5 for obvious reasons. We're under a key number there of 27. 27 gets us home. These teams played last year at the Naval Academy Beltway, Ben. It was 28-17 at the half. Navy games skew more heavily to the points in the first half than the second half. Teams maybe adjust a little bit to that triple option as the game wears on. Maybe Navy tires out a little bit, take their foot off the gas, whatever. But the first halves tend to be nuts. Like, let's just go through it. 24-9, 10-21, 10-24. I'm giving Navy score first. 21-13, 7-17, 17-10, 21-17, 24-24, 28-0. Those are Navy halftime scores on the season. Memphis, as Ben laid out, is a pretty prolific passing attack with a good quarterback, a Navy defense that sucks. Both these teams haven't played in 11 days. They're fresh and ready to go. And Blake Horvath, who I don't think has been healthy for Navy in weeks, is all tuned up here. And Navy is still alive for maybe an inside straight to a playoff appearance. Navy shocked some people with the way they've played in conference the last couple of weeks. Their offense can play with anybody, but they're defensively deficient. So we're looking for these two to pick up where they left off last year when they play tomorrow night at Memphis. It is a big number, but I kind of preferred this to the game over where I think things could tighten up late. And Navy's games have produced 31 or more first half points in 4 straight games.
I'm going to go to 4th and long for 2 plays. And, I have a lot of stuff that I'm giving out right here because my 2 4th and long plays play into 2 props that I just like straight up. And I wanted to give them both out here to make it make more sense. So we're going to play, we'll start here in the Packers game. And we're going to go with Jordan Love, his longest completion, over 36.5 yards. And you can get that at -114. Shop around because 36.5 was the lowest that I was able to find. He's faced the Lions 5 times in his career as a starter. He's over this in all 5 games. He has thrown a completion longer than this. And I know the Lions secondary, the first few years where he played them were awful, and they've gotten a little bit better, but they've still been susceptible to the long throw, especially at home indoors. Playing in those spots. So let's look at what they've done in recent weeks. Jameis Winston threw for 366 yards and a long of 42. 3 completions he had to clear this number. Marcus Mariota completed 2 passes longer than this total. And that Washington passing offense, especially when no Terry, is a complete joke. I've liked what I've seen from Jordan Love in this environment. He's not going to get Jaden Reed back. It came out today that he's going to be inactive, but they do have a lot of guys
Golden's
healthy.
Back, right?
Yeah. And I just, when you look at what the offense is doing, and it's a big question mark, this is going to have to be the week. We all remember that Thanksgiving game in 2023 where he threw for 268. Watson was beating him down the middle easy. He had 3 passing touchdowns in that game. LaFleur's going to have to tune the offense up in this one. I think the Lions are smart enough as a unit to take that run away because Josh Jacobs, we know the bulk that he can do, and over a game he wears defenses down. But in this one, I think it's going to be a lot of Jordan Love. So I like his longest completion, over 36.5 yards, and we'll also take him for 225 plus passing yards. His number's right around 229.5, 230.5. We're taking it to 225, and we'll get it at -122. So those are our 2 plays for Jordan Love. Now we're also going to play Derrick Henry, the Ravens running back, his longest rush, over 19.5 yards at -115, and we'll also play him over 89.5 rushing yards at -110. 31 carries for 160 yards against Cincinnati last year in 2 games for Derrick Henry. He cleared the longest rush just once, and the yardage just once. But this is a guy that the Ravens offense has got to get going. And the offensive line has struggled. There's no Justice Hill playing. Luckily for them, they get to see Cincinnati. The Bengals defense cures all. I've said it for 3 straight weeks. It's a saying that I'm trying to get going because it's a true thing. Their defense is trash. Travion Henderson, 66 rushing yards. Jalen Warren, 62, and he only had 10 carries. He had a long of 35. Kyle Monungai, that was his coming out party, 176, long of 39. Brees Hall, 133, long of 35. Same game, Isaiah Davis, 65 and a long of 50. The defense sucks. 52.2% defensive success rate against the run since week 7, because that's the big talk right now. They're turning things around defensively. No, I really don't think that they are. They're trying to push this stuff around. Like, the coach is talking them up. Keep building that confidence. Right now, this defense just is not there. Derrick Henry's not happy with how things have gone, and it's understandable. This offensive line sucks, as I said, but they should be able to build some confidence against this front. Like, I just don't buy anything the Bengals have. Derrick Henry is also the difference maker. Like, he can sometimes turn nothing into something. You stiff arm one guy, get to the second level, and then it's over. And I think at home with that crowd, it could be something like that Buffalo game, week 4 last year, where first play of the game, he takes a run 80 plus yards, and that was a statement run, and the rest of the game we saw. I'd expect him early and often in this one, so I'm playing him again. Over 89.5 rushing yards at -110, and his longest rush over 19.5 at -115.
Excellent. Overtime for me. We're going back to in that Bengals game. If you watch the show with any regularity, you know the Bengals are very live for me here. I'm not buying the Ravens defense. I'm not buying what I see of Lamar Jackson right now as being anywhere close to 100%. I'm not buying the Ravens passing game being super prolific, even as dog shit as the Bengals defense is. I am buying Joe Burrow to come out here like the stone cold assassin that he is and try to save his team season. And we saw him last year playing a lot of games in the second half of the year when people thought the Bengals were buried, and all he was doing was throwing for 300 a game with 3 passing touchdowns, and they were scoring over 30 points a game. And I think they can pick up where they left off here. So give me Joe Burrow to throw for 250 and the Bengals to score at least 24 points plus 184. Yes, the Ravens have only given up 4 offensive touchdowns since week 7. I'm completely aware of that. I also know the quarterbacks they faced, the offenses they faced, and how game flow went and everything else. I know Kyle Hamilton's not 100%. I know the Ravens can't rush the passer, and I know that Joe Burrow absolutely destroyed them in both games last year, including one where he was playing with a bum hand coming in. We believe Jamar Chase can go off in the slot and lined up outside. We believe Yoshi Voss is good for at least 30 yards, and it might be more like 40 or 50 in the slot. I believe Chase Brown. If you told me Chase Brown came out of this game with 60 yards receiving, I wouldn't flinch. I know there's no Higgins, but Gesicki can step into the slot, and that's another bad matchup for the Ravens. I don't think Joe Burrow is playing these games to do anything other than try to carve people up the way he does in the second half of every season. He's a slow starter. He's a great finisher. Maybe there's some rust. Maybe there's not. He missed 2 months. It's not like he's coming back from an entire offseason where he didn't do anything. So in the primetime spot, playing for their lives, he's thrown 12 passing touchdowns in his last 4 games against Baltimore. If he does the 3 here, that gets us to 21. They've got a pretty good kicker. So there. And maybe it's garbage time. If I'm wrong and the Bengals are so much worse than the almighty Ravens, Burrow's still going to be out there playing because he's trying to get tuned up. He didn't come back for nothing. So maybe he does it in garbage time. But there's a lot of models out there that think Joe Burrow is going way closer to 300 than 250. We'll see.
Yeah, I just got one parlay for this one, and this is one we're going to have to really get close to the screen because we have a bunch of different legs in it.
That's not too bad.
Can you read it?
I can read it. Yeah, you want me to do it?
Yeah.
Romeo Doubs, 3+ receptions. Rashee Rice, 5+ receptions. Isaiah Likely, 2+ receptions. And a Derrick Henry anytime touchdown, plus 212. I did have to get
Damn right.
close. From right here, I couldn't
work.
do it.
You still made it work. You're still able to work through it. My eyes are horrible too. It's crazy. But no. Romeo Doubs, 3+. We took him for 3.5 over that number. Now you're telling me Jayden Reed's not playing. I thought he was going to play when I took Dobbs prop earlier. It only helps us. He's struggled with some drops lately, but Jordan Love still trusts his wide receiver 1. I like that play there. Rashee Rice, 5+ reception. I talked about it before. This isn't a guy who's catching. He did it the 1 week he had like 4 for 80, but for majority of the games he's not catching 2 passes for 150. No, I talked about his ADOT. It's like less than 5 yards. Not a lot of throws down the field for him. Easy throws and saying, here, take a lot off of Mahomes' plate and go make a play. And that's what they've been doing with him. Isaiah Likely 2+ receptions. Listen, I'm on Isaiah Likely in a pretty big way this week. If he doesn't go over, then he'll never go over. The Bengals defense against tight ends just sucks. And Derrick Henry, anytime touchdown, he scored 3 since Lamar's return. I do think it'll be a lot of offense from the Ravens against that Bengals defense, as I've said. And I also think there might be a 40+ yard touchdown run from Derrick Henry. They've struggled a little bit in the red zone. I know the Bengals showed well last week against New England, but New England doesn't have the powerful back in Derrick Henry. And he hasn't had success punching it in the goal line. I get that. I think it's going to be outside of the red zone, a long run, stiff arms, Geno Stone. We all see the back of his jersey all year. One of those types of plays. So again, Romeo Doubs, 3+ receptions, Rashee Rice, 5+ receptions, Isaiah Likely, 2+ receptions, and Derrick Henry, anytime touchdown, +212. I will also give out as an official play here, Isaiah Likely, 3+ receptions at +104. I am taking him for 3 more receptions, which you can still get at plus money tonight.
Excellent. That's our show. Bite the lobster. For good luck. You got to think there's some good karma in me sucking rainwater out of a lobster earlier today, right? A lobster that was spent overnight in the cold November rain in Baltimore. That's got to be good for something.
Curse from those kids. I mean, either one.
Yeah. Ben's chugging his milk. That's always a good sign. Did no chocolate milk today? Just the plain all?
I was tired. I just decided just stick with the white milk for now. But I will have chocolate milk probably for tomorrow. I always make that request on like big family get-togethers. They all know how I am.
They know how you roll.
Yeah.
So where do you go tomorrow? Do you go to?
We go to my sister's.
Everybody come to your parents' house? Oh, you go to sister's.
We all go to my sister's house. But my dad, he's got Raven season tickets, and him and my brother-in-law are going to be going to the game, so I think they'll leave a little early. They asked me if I want to go. It's late night. It's going to be cold out there, and my dad sits in like Dundalk for those seats. Like his season tickets are right up. I don't know, but hopefully they win for him.
Yeah, no, that'd be good.
Not for them. Right? Did
how'd you like meatball? I'm sorry?
You did give him on the money line. The Bengals on the show.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
But I mean, look, you're going to lose some bets. I live in Baltimore. We do a radio show in Baltimore. In this way, I'm covered. Ravens win, great. Ravens lose, more money in my pocket. Chip away Christmas presents. How'd you like meatball? You got to spend a little time with meatball.
Love meatball. I was sending Maddie because my girlfriend's
He's a chill mofo, huh?
Yes. My girlfriend's like a diehard dog. She loved it. I was sending videos, and she was dying that his name was Meatball and said, does he actually respond to it? So I took a video of me saying, come here, Meaty. Meaty runs over. It's just, he loves Meaty.
Yeah.
So, yes.
Yeah, he's good people.
Yeah,
I might just start bringing him in on Fridays.
It makes it way better. Makes it a lot more fun in there.
Yeah. No, totally. So that's our show. We hope everybody has a wonderful Thanksgiving. We hope we help you make a little money either through the bets that you're following here, tailing, or the bets that you're fading, or our conversations spur you to do something a little bit different, but within the realm of what we gave out. We will be back. What are you thinking? 8:30, 9 o'clock Friday, something like that?
Yes, between 8:30 9 o'clock, preferably 8:30, but
that's fine with me.
See where I'm
8:30.
At.
Let me know. I'll be up 8:30 ish on Friday, and then I guess what about Saturday? Saturday I may go to the Maryland soccer game with Rocco. So
I saw they snuck past UNC.
Yeah, they on penalties.
Sweat,
So that's bad result against UCLA. Then a lot of time off. Then struggled to get the offense going the way it normally does against Kakalaka. So maybe I don't know what your schedule's like, but I might maybe a little earlier than 11. Maybe we'll see. I'll give out the Premiership kickoffs Friday morning anyway. A lot of those are 10.
We got a Black Friday football game too that we'll be able to give out at 8.
Yes, we do.
Friday.
Although the Eagles injury report has got me a little shook. And then the weather looks like it might be really windy and crappy.
Right.
I was looking at Devontae Smith going off in the slot against that Bears defense, but now Swift hasn't practiced all week, and Dickerson, you don't know if he's playing, and Johnson, you don't know if he's playing, and they're talking about 50-mile-an-hour winds. So I don't know.
Right. Maybe we attack Hurts, get Hurts rushing again. He's been very featured on the show all year, hasn't he? That's been a pretty regular play.
Yeah, and I'm thinking about like parlaying Eagles money line with Texans money line. The more work I do on Indianapolis, Houston, I think it's a dead under game, and I think Houston wins the game.
That'd be a backbreaker for the Colts after they just can't figure it out anymore.
It'd be good for my Jacksonville Steelers,
The
Eagles,
4-leg.
and Rams to win the division 27-1.
Right.
I'm worried about the Steelers part of it, but
That's
another one.
Tomorrow's
What are you
big
going
for
to do?
that.
I'm in
Tomorrow's
Baltimore.
big for that. I mean, if
That's
the
up
Ravens
to
beat the Bengals.
Yeah. But then the Steelers play the Ravens in a week.
Yeah, they can handle it. But
And I just saw on the thing here, that's up to 4 now, huh? The Steelers game's up to 4. They're getting 4.
are you going to be
Giving
on
Mike
them?
Tomlin, giving Mike Tomlin 4 points at home
Look ahead.
against a team that's 11-11 on the road the last 2 years. You know where I've been on the Bills. You know where I've been on the Bills lately.
Yeah.
I don't think much of the Steelers, but
I can't pull
this
my
is the
money
kind
with
of
them right
games
now.
that Mike Tomlin wins every year. That's how he wins 9 or 10 games every year.
That is true. It's true.
When he's a home dog, it's hard for me not to back
And the
him.
Bills, did you see their injury report? Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Dawkins is going to be out. He's got a concussion. Ugh.
Yeah, I mean, dude, when you're signing Brandon Cooks off the street.
Yeah, trying to figure that out. Yeah, that's desperate.
Yeah. Anywho, hey, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Ben, appreciate everything you do for the show, brother. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and we'll see you bright and early Friday.